What is going on, YouTube? I hope you guys are doing fantastic today. Today, we're bringing you guys a banger video about 9.5 patch Smite. I don't know why I said it in such a weird way, but we're talking about 9.5 patch. Overall, I actually love the patch. Making the mini waves tankier makes it so you have to actually like expend resources, play around buffs and stuff like that. The waves are the same way. You have to actually like use your mana if you want to hit them to clear, or if you want to hit them to decrease their health. There's actual resource management in the game instead of just who can farm the quickest. And I think it makes Smite as a whole feel better and feel more like a MOBA instead of more like an arena. But there are a couple of changes that either because of how they went about stuff or just stuff that they ended up buffing, it feels a little bad. And I think number one, towers are just in a supremely overpowered spot. There is so many times where the tower will kill you, even though you have like 300 protections through like 7, 8, 9 autos. That 30% pen, I think, added on a little bit too much to when they get tankier. And I think that is probably the worst part of the change. I don't mind how much tankier they got. I don't mind that they reduced the gold. But I think if they are going to be doing this much damage and they're going to be that tanky, there needs to be some advantage to killing this towers. Because right now, the only reason you kill towers is to go for the Titan. And that's the only reason. Before, you would go for the tower to be able to dive, to get more gold, to open up the map. That's really not a thing anymore. It's just coming down to you don't even go for the towers. You just farm around the towers. In my opinion, there's 3 ways they could do this. They can add more gold to the towers like League does, where they have plates. They can just add more gold overall to the global economy if you kill the tower. Because right now, I think it's 75 gold per player for tier 1, which is lame. The towers do too much damage, so they could nerf the tower. That's point 2. So gain more gold from towers, decrease towers damage, or make towers easier to kill. Those are the 3 things that they could do. Any one of them. Just do one of them. Any one of them is fine. I don't care which one. But that would make pushing towers and actually going for towers something you can do and make it worth something. Number 2. Mages have been over-nerfed heavily by the patch, and just through all these changes from the nerfing of 9.4, mages kind of got hit the hardest. Their role feels probably the worst by far, and I think they need to look to buffing the items and then changing how the red buff works. If you added red buff's effect to the blue buff and the purple buff, you would never be able to do those buffs unless your jungler was there. And I think it makes it really lame for mages because they're also the squishiest on the map, on top of having the hardest buff to kill. I recommend that they just lower the damage the red buff does below 50%. So I think it's like they get an extra 50% attack speed or something like that. Make it 30%, 25%, something like that. Allow the mages not to just get soloed by the red buff on that first respawn. The Obshard tier 2 nerf, I hated. It should just be 10%. I honestly think you just revert that. It feels really bad at 5%. You're getting a 15% penetration on top of the Obshard passive, on top of the other Obshard stats for like 1,000 gold. It's just, it doesn't make a ton of sense. Give the 10% pen back. Also, add a little bit of flat pen to Deso, Divine, Magistry. Bring it back to 15 and see how it feels. And then just add some power through all their items. You really just feel weak as a mage full build when you should be feeling strongest at that point. And I think you just need a little bit more power through their entire build. I think you'll see a lot of mages with Book of Thoth until they buff Deso or Rod or something like that, because Book of Thoth is one of the few ways you can actually get loads and loads of power. Number 3, more room for Snowball in the early game. Right now, I think late game Smite feels really good. ADCs might be a little bit strong, but late game Smite feels very, very, very good. The problem is the early game for, I don't know, 5-ish minutes feels like you're just farming really, and there's no room to actually get a snowball going until like 5 to 10 minutes into the game. And I think that does come down to my point number 1, where towers are just super, super strong. Gold Fury is also super strong. Fire Giant is super strong. Pyro is super strong. Even like the Scorpions are somewhat strong. So now you have a bunch of things on the map that you need to like 5-man group for. And if the other 5-man enemy team just comes and groups on it with you, you're not going to be able to do that objective in front of them. I think they just need to reduce the damage from Gold Fury specifically, and then do something to nerf the tower to allow for more room for Snowball. But yeah, nerfing the Gold Fury, the Gold Fury's damage output will help a lot, and it'll allow for more room to Snowball. And then my 4th and final point, you've probably heard a bunch of pros complaining about it, tweeting about it, because they hate it. ADCs are doing just a little bit too much damage. Just a wee bit too much damage. And it comes down to their full 6 items is super strong on top of them being extra tanky. And then getting to late game with Gilded is super easy because you just get extra gold income. A gold nerf to Gilded will be huge, or just a stat nerf to Gilded to make it so it's less built and able to be punished. I think that'll make ADCs feel a little bit weaker. And then Envenom Deathbringer is another thing that I think I've always been a supreme hater of Poison Star because it's just so toxic for the game. It makes it so if an ADC crits you, you're locked down because you're slowed and they can just auto you more. And then if you try to turn and fight them, you're doing less damage. So your choice is either try to kill them and you're doing less damage, so it's harder to kill, or try to run away, but you can't really run away because you're getting slowed. Honestly, I would recommend removing Envenom Deathbringer. I hate that item, but just a big nerf to that would be huge for me. But those are the 4 biggest changes that I think I would enjoy for this patch. Like, overall, I said I love this patch. Smite feels fresh. It feels fun. It feels good. I know some of the pros don't like it so much, but I'm having a blast, and I'm having a lot of fun with PTS. I hope you guys enjoyed the YouTube video, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. See ya.